and then open it up for questions.
All right. Well, a lot really hasn't changed since we last talked. Little roster update. Jake Laravy's cleared to play, and he's been practicing and will be available for Wednesday's game against Louisville. Robert McCray was cleared to practice non-contact this morning. He will not be available for the Louisville game, but hopefully will be available for Miami. And there's been no change in Damari Monsanto's status. As soon as the game was postponed or canceled on last Tuesday, I let the players go home. Got another extra day and a half pretty much for most of them being at home. I thought that was good. We returned yesterday, practice last night at 8 p.m., practice this morning at 11, practice again at 4 this afternoon, tomorrow at 1, and then leave for Louisville. Louisville's undefeated in the ACC, 1-0. They've got a road win at NC State. One of the top 30 teams in the country defensively. They're really tough, physical, they rebound, a reflection of their coach. Defend the two-point shot really well. I think like 34th in the country, something like that. Malik Williams, really good player, averages nearly double-double. Noah Locke, transfer from Florida, can really score the ball. Matt Cross, he's got size, he can shoot it transfer from Miami. And so I anticipate it to be, a really tough game. That's what I have for an opening statement. Go ahead and fire away.
Steve, have you had contact with the folks at Louisville, and have they given you assurances that the game is going to go on and that they're ready to play?
No, I haven't had any contact with Louisville. I mean, I don't have any reason to believe that we're not going to play. But as we all know, we live in a different time and place in this world. I mean, a lot can happen between now and then, not only with their team, but our team. I try to control the things that I can control, and that's and worry about those things. But I haven't had any conversation with Louisville.
As a follow-up, you mentioned your team. I don't guess there's any hiccups there from a COVID perspective from what you've seen?
No, not that I'm going to comment individually on anybody's situation health-wise, but with COVID. But no, everybody's ready to go now. Again, could change. I've talked to them about being very vigilant about what they do away from the court, as far as just being around large groups and trying to mask up when they can, social distancing, those type of things. But it seems like this is a very contagious strain or variant, whatever they're calling it. And so, we're going to try to do our very best so we can keep playing.
Steve, with Omicron spiking, were you nervous about having the guys go home, or is that just kind of an unavoidable situation?
I wasn't nervous, Connor. I wanted them to go home. I mean, we have to keep living our life. They could get it here just as much as they could get it anywhere. They just, some of them, a couple of them flew, the rest of them drove. And the only thing I asked them was, if you're going to have a lot of family over at your house for Christmas or people from outside your family, then wear a mask, and so, hopefully they did that, and we'll see down the road, as we progress in the next couple, 3 weeks.
Do you think, I know it's a lot of new players, but for the players that experienced what you guys went through last year, do you think that's a factor that kind of helps push them toward the safe side?
Yeah, I would imagine for the guys that were here, just what they went through. And then, even the transfers, what they went through, where they were at. Some of the young guys that had very limited, maybe some of the guys, I don't remember how much high school basketball those guys even got to play last year. So they all have their own experience. I'm sure, the guys that were here last year remember what happened. Now, some of those guys got really sick. So far we haven't seen a lot of that. I hope not, and I'm sure it weighs in their mind. Plus, at that point we were 2-0. We beat Longwood and Delaware State. Right now we're 11-1. And so, I also think that they'll use, that'll be a little bit more of a motivator for them to try to do right.
Steve, in terms of the Boston College game, what are the prospects of getting that made up? Is it going to have to be one of those things where you lose another game down the stretch from COVID and then they lose one at the same time? Or is there more proactive steps being taken to get that in?
Yeah, I don't know. That's something administratively we'll work on. That's not something that I'll get involved in too much unless they ask me to. There's only a certain amount of dates on the calendar, right, that you can even play, and they have to match up. I trust that, with the ACC, with our administration, with Boston College administration, if it can happen, it will. If it can't, then I think something maybe we need to explore. Do we need to add a game? I don't know. I was kind of going to give it a little time here, a week or so after we got back to see kind of where it was at. We got a lot going on right now. And so, we'll kind of move from there. We'd love to play it. It's a home game, right? And it's a league game. But if we can't, then going to have to think about what is the best route for us to play. Is it even best to play? I don't know. But I think those are some things that we'll talk about here in the very near future.
Steve, I know that Cam had a lot of his family in the area over the last few weeks. Was Matthew able to go home, or did he spend some time with you?
No. Matthew went with R.J. Kenna. He went with him to Colorado for Christmas, and so I thought that was really nice of their family to help have him come for Christmas. He obviously couldn't go home, and any of the players are always welcome at my house for Christmas. They know that, but they probably see me enough that maybe they look at me more of a Scrooge or a Grinch. I don't know, but I'm really not at Christmas time, but I'm sure they want to hang out at my house. And so he got to do that.
How was Christmas with the Forbeses?
Well, it got a little long for me. I think my wife was ready for me to get out of the house. I'm used to about 3 days. We had a little extra day and a half, made me a little stir crazy, but we had a good time. Family was here. I packed on a couple pounds that I tried to lose them all back yesterday. I didn't quite accomplish that yet, but it was great. Again, for me, I'd like to be able to go home, but I can't. So just having my, my children here and my wife, that's plenty. And we had a good time.
Steve, when you look at Louisville, the defensive analytics say that they're really good, but they're also coming off a game where they gave up 82. Where do you see maybe breakdowns from their last game that you might be able to take advantage of, or was it just a fluke game?
Honestly, I haven't even really looked at that game. I'm not that kind of guy. I'll start looking at the film in depth probably tonight, tomorrow. I got to go recruit tonight. I didn't hole up in my house and with a bunch of film. I know a lot of coaches do that. I don't begrudge them for it. I just don't. I've always just worried about our team. I'll watch it, I'm sure, here tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday and Wednesday. So if you want to ask me after the game about the Western Kentucky game, I can tell you about it then.
Okay, so on the subject of your team, it's been a pretty good start here in the season. Where do you even look for improvements, or is it more of just keep doing what we're doing?
No. Yeah, we need to improve. Yeah, definitely, especially on the defensive end. Wasn't a very positive practice this morning. I thought we had a really good practice last night, and we got at it. Typically, when we come back from a break like that, I kind of ease into it. I didn't ease into it last night. Basically, we went full gas, and they handled it really well. And they got probably out of here about 10 o'clock. Came back this morning. Didn't go at it the way they needed to go at it at the beginning. Now they finished strong. But to answer your question, I think defensively, we got to get better. We can't just think we're going to outscore people every game. It's not going to happen. We're going to have to be able to defend. Now, we've shown some times that we can do that. It's just being consistent, consistently guarding the ball screen, consistently being physical in the ball screen with the guards, guarding the ball, being attentive off the ball, not coming up out of your stance. A lot of guys tend to stand up away from the ball, back cut, offensive rebound, whatever. We can continue to try to improve, maybe to play some zone. There's a lot of things. Offensively, we keep adding things because you need new looks when you play other teams. And so, I do think that either getting better or you're getting worse all year long. And I think you got to continue to improve. I mean, the point where we're like, oh, we can just win this league or get an NCAA tournament bid. We've got to continue to improve. Now, if we continue to improve, I think we got an opportunity to have a nice season.
How much does Jake's return help on the defensive end?
Oh, a lot. Yeah. If you ask Jake, he brings a lot of energy. He's a good communicator. Him and Zay communicate really well, which is really important. Communication kills confusion. You know what I mean? Like if you talk, then there's no confusion in what's going on. The guys that don't communicate on defense are the guys that aren't confident in what they're doing, or the game's happening too quick, or Jake's pretty good at that. You know what I mean? And he's a physical defender and he's a versatile defender. He can guard, as you guys know, he can guard 5s through 2s. I'm not sure we put him on. Maybe put him on a point guard. I wouldn't really bother me 1 through 5. That helps a lot, and you could tell he had fresh legs. I told him that last night. He had about 10 dunks. I'm like, fresh legs, anytime one of your top players getting back, you got to be pretty happy. And made me pretty happy to see him out there. Come on,
anything else for Coach?
Come on.
They're going easy on you today.
Well, I see Phil's on here. Phil, I won't be there tonight at the Ginger Fox. Brooke Savage will be there in my place. I'm going to be doing some basketball recruiting. So sorry to disappoint you there.
I won't take it personally. Happy hunting.
Well, you should take it personally, actually, but it's okay.
It looks like we got a question from Mike. Mike, go ahead.
Right.
Hey, Coach, how are you? With you saying that you're skipping tonight's event to go out and do some basketball recruiting, how much easier is it to have conversations with potential recruits based on the way things have gone so far? I mean, it looks pretty attractive when Steve Forbes and Wake with 1 loss comes knocking on the door.
Well, it don't hurt. I've always believed this, Mike, though, and this is, winning or losing a game really doesn't ever get a player. And what I mean by that is, and I'll use this as an example. When I was at Tennessee, we went down there and won at Memphis every year. I was at Tennessee, which were big games, but it never convinced a player like, hey, I'm going to come to Tennessee because you guys went to Memphis and beat Memphis. I'm talking about a Memphis kid. But yes, especially where we're coming from. We've been, we haven't had a lot of success in a while. And so to have success, surely it opens up their eyes. Film is the most important thing you can have for kids to show them. I didn't have a lot of that from last year, and I don't want to show them East Tennessee State film, right? So having this, 12 games so far on film is really helpful. And, just being on television is really helpful and having kids see it. And then for me, this is the first time I've been able to get out in state around the country, during the season and be visible. And so those things are all, really, really important. But I think you're right. I think having that momentum of, winning is really, really, really important.
And then just to follow up along that line, I mean, you have this year's games and this year's results, and you can compare it to what you guys went through last year and the growth that the program. I mean, it sounds like it's a pretty appetizing menu for a potential recruit.
Yeah, Mike, you didn't realize this was year 1?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, you take those things, you show the growth, and that's something that we did in my previous job. Each year we got better and we showed growth, not only just in the team, but in the players, right? Their numbers, how much they've improved in their shooting or their passing or, whatever it is. It's really important for kids to see that. so they could see that they're in a program where not only where they're going to win, but they're going to grow too. And you got to keep that in mind in recruiting, that this is about their individual growth too with the team. And so those are important things, no question. And so to be able to show them that in where they can see it and not just say it are really huge advantages for us, I believe, moving forward for sure.
Anything else? All right. That wasn't too bad today.
Oh, that was pretty simple. These guys are getting soft.
All right. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you.
Trying to toughen up the questions for a one-loss team there, Steve.
Hey, would you like to do it to be the other way? I mean, I'm doing my job. Hey, Mike, I always see you every morning in my house too. My wife has Spectrum News on, so I get to see you.
Well, I'm a big fan of yours after your diehard take last week, so thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I don't want to start another controversy for God's sake.
No, that's fine by me. We'll have to find some time to get together and hash that out.
I need to get my Twitter to calm down a little bit on that. So, all right, boys. Hasta la vista.